Well, hello everyone. It's late night on Monday, November 6th. Time to review some of the college basketball results, and also for those of you that have purchased copies of the algorithm and want to know kind of how do you work with it. We'll talk about the day, and it is pretty exhausting on days like this when there are 100 plus games to actually get the scores in here. I've looked into some solutions to try to connect an API to this file and import scores directly, but it's not easy because you have to get the exact team names correct, and it just hasn't been worked into the file yet. So you kind of have to put these in manually if you really want to do it on a daily basis. If you go through that process, you end up with this. So right now, not all the games are complete. There's still like another 15 games still going, including our pick of the day, which is losing right now, Southern Utah. But overall, it's 75 and 16. 82% of the games are won with no bump. Now, what I like to do is I like to separate this out between home and away so you can understand whether or not the algorithm was doing good things and was logical, right? So I've always said that this algorithm wins 90% of its home teams or more. Did it do that so far today? Right on the button, actually. 71 and 8 with no home bump, assuming these games were all true home games. And I don't know if that was the case. Everyone I checked was actually looked like it was a real home game at the actual home team's stadium or arena. But I don't know if that's the case, but there you go. So it's about 71 and 8. Well, where did it lose? So here's the way you kind of glance at this. You've got did they win the game? Did they win the spread? How many games do we win in a row? The top 15 games. Then you get a loss. Then you get another string of wins. Another 35. Oh my goodness. Wow. 35 plus 15, 50 out of the first 51 home teams win. Of course, their lines are all terrible. They don't all cover the spread. That's still a lot. Then you have a loss. Then you've got another 9. And then it starts to get kind of fuzzy down here. You can see that this is actually not great down here. Having these last set of 18 games and losing 5 of them, 6 of them, actually. So going 12 and 6 down here is not good for home teams. So that means that down at the bottom here, while there were some crazy upsets, I mean, the biggest upset is James Madison right down the street here. James Madison knocked off Michigan State, I believe, and they were away. We'll look at the away games in a second. But so what this means, we're still using last season stats and everything. So we'll see what happens as we roll it forward to current season stats. But this is not too great at the bottom here. It's not excellent. Now the away teams end up going 4 and 8. Okay, so losing with our away teams. Now, what does that mean? Well, this is where we start to talk about the home bump. Now, any team that's playing at home in college basketball just inherently has an advantage, because they're used to the arena they're playing in. They're positionally when they're taking shots, you kind of have a sense of where you are on the court in your home arena where you practice. So, and the fans screaming and everything, all that helps. It's just the nature of the game that home teams do win more. So what you see here on the away teams is you see, wow, all these guys lost. All these guys lost. And they all had worse strength of schedules than their opponents, right? All these teams did. Then you have some where they had a better strength of schedule, these ones, Cornell, Texas State, North Dakota State, Akron, and Delaware. You actually win 4 of those games, the ones with better strength of schedule. So this is actually pretty reliable. Worse strength of schedule, these 2 lose. Okay. So what you end up getting is you say, all right, well, we understand that the strength of schedule is something we need to worry about. But another thing is, what was the margin of these games? The margin matters over here. And I always say you can do a home bump of between 5 and 20%. When you bump this 10%, right in the middle of there, all these teams are going to go off the list. Look at what happens when you do this. Put 10% as a home bump in here. So you're bumping the quality of the margin of the home team by 10%, and then you refresh. Now all of a sudden you're 4-3 because all those other games switched. Now your home teams are 76-8. Notice you still only win 90% of your games, but those teams flipped around here at the bottom, right? It doesn't favor these ones anymore. Favors Louisville, favors Northeastern, teams with better strength of schedules, and teams that were home. So overall, with a 10% bump today, you're 80-11 overall. I don't know if it was profitable betting every single game. The running total looks like it's about dead even right here. That's what that is. And you were profitable right here at a margin of about 20-some%. So it's mixed. It's a mixed day, and it's not over yet. There are still these games going on, looks like. And Southern Utah is not winning, but of course they're away, but we'll see what happens. Let's get a score on that game from Google. Southern Utah college basketball score. Southern Utah college basketball score. Now they're down 49-57, so they're down by 8 right now with about 8 minutes left. So it's not over, but we don't know. So point of all this is when you're looking at everything here, you will start to see, like how did our underdogs do at a 10% bump or the 0% bump, let's say. Go back to a 0% bump. And let's look at our underdogs descending by money line. Right here. And you can see that these away games are losing, right? Some of them are covering spreads, but these all had terrible strength of schedules. So yeah, really mixed day early in the year. You do have some string of wins down here though. It's also an interesting thing to look at the profitability over here. When you sort this by money line, you still can't get profitable. Nope. What about at a 10% bump? This is why you can start messing around with this to optimize and figure out exactly what you should have bumped everything. Yeah, see the 10% bump makes it look a lot better. Let's get rid of these in progress games. Yeah, this is looking a lot better. These are zeros. Yeah, you don't have a money line on these games. No, it actually doesn't look as good as I thought. But you're showing the profitable. Now you do show some profitability here. I'm just doing the running total of what would happen if you bet the money line. There's a lot to look at it here. You can see why I can't do this throughout the whole season. I just want to get you started. And if it's something you want to follow with every day, you can learn a lot from it. And this is just experimenting, showing you all the things that you can do with this. So I'd say that it's a mixed night. I would not call this a successful day. But we're completely using last season's stats. So that will change. I don't know if that will be effective tomorrow because I'm sure there are teams playing tomorrow that did not play today. So you'll continue to have to use last season stats for at least another day or two. But, you're starting to get some understanding of what this does. Oh yeah, we have the value picks. How did our value picks do? Oh gosh, there's so much to talk about. Yeah, I'll continue to do a video or two to get everyone going on this because it's going to look different when we go to current season stats. But basically, yeah, mixed day, a lot happening, and you probably didn't win a lot of money. I of course didn't bet on any of these games, but you probably didn't win a ton of money doing this. But some of the scores look good, and you definitely had a lot of home teams winning top down. And you do hit 90% of your home teams. So anyway, that's the video. I'll be back. I will be back for another day or two. Purchase a copy of this if you want it. Once I stop selling copies, I stopped doing videos on this. I sold enough today to make it worth my time. And if you're interested in having this, it will be helpful, even if it wasn't all that helpful tonight. All right, good luck, everyone. I hope you picks one today. Continue to be winning.